Hi everybody, welcome to the Stamping Studio. I'm Jeannie Scioli from Ladera Ranch, California, here to share a couple of fun projects that I did last night for Motivation Monday. So let's get started. I'm going to bring you down to the desk and show you the projects that we're going to be working on, along with the products that you're going to need if you would like to stamp along with me today. All right, so we're going to feature the Penguin Place stamp set. This is one of my very favorites from the catalog, and I hope that you like it as well. We are also going to be using the Lights Aglow Designer Series paper. Look how beautiful all these patterns are. I had a hard time deciding which ones to use for this project, but I went ahead and went with the stars in these soft succulent colors here. Not stars, snowflakes. And I'm also going to be doing a second card that features the Celebrate Everything paper. We're going to use this one right here. Okay, and then I'll go through the products as we go along with the projects, because it can be a little overwhelming to hear them all at once. So let me show you our card projects. So we have this super fun fold card. We have our little penguin here latching our card closed, but I'm going to slide that up here because this opens this way. And then we have our penguin that slides down the hill. And then we're going to open it up and he crashes into our presents. So that is card number 1 that we'll be making. And then we are going to be making this one as well. What I love about this card is that it highlights the Designer Series paper really well. How many times have you used a Designer Series paper and you love both sides and you're kind of sad that you don't get to see both sides? Well, on this card you do, because when you open it up, it's on the inside as well. All right, so the reason that we are making these 2 cards is because they are cut out of one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This template was shared by Wendy Crawford during our on-stage event in Anaheim a few weeks ago, and I just loved how you could make 2 cards out of one sheet of paper. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to start with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of the soft succulent cardstock. And I'm going to bring my trimmer over here. I absolutely love this trimmer because you not only can cut on it using it, but you can also score with this. And that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm along the short edge here. I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. Okay, then I'm going to rotate it 1 turn, so I have the long edge up against my bumper here, and I'm going to score it at 5 1/2 inches. So 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. So we just have kind of a crossbar right in the middle here. All right, we're going to do some cutting here. I want to have an edge over here that is 2 1/2 inches. So I'm actually going to flip this over. I guess you don't really need to, but I like to fold my score lines the opposite direction. And I'm going to bring up my cutting blade now, so that's the black blade. And I'm going to cut down to that 5 1/2 inch score line. Okay, you don't want to go beyond that. You want to get it right onto that line. Okay, now I'm going to bring this back over. I'm going to lay it this way. Here's my cut area. And I'm going to cut right along that 5 1/2 inch score line to the cut I just made. All right, so now I have 2 pieces of cardstock for my 2 card bases. Let's bring this one over, and we are going to fold this across, and I want to make sure that that's nice and even. and get my nice crisp fold line using my bone folder. Okay, you always want to give yourself a nice sharp crease so the card lays flat. If you don't, it flops a lot and you don't want that. Okay, now I want to bring this piece down over, just like that. All right, now that's going to want to kick up a little bit. That's okay. It's just leaning against that inside piece. And we're going to have our little penguin that will help hold that in place. All right, so I'm going to set this aside for a minute. And we need a piece of evening evergreen cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4. And we need a piece of the beautiful snowflake paper from the Lights Aglow DSP pack. And we're going to cut it into these 3 sizes. All right, so we need one that is 3 13/16 by 5 1/16. We have another one that is 2 1/16 by 5 1/16. We need a 3/4 by 4. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is turn this, and I'm going to cut at 5 1/16. All right, that's going to give me my paper that I'll use for that 3/4 inch piece. Now I'm going to cut a piece that is 3 13/16. My little post-it notes are getting in the way here. All right, so 3 13/16. And then this one I want to be 2 1/16. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off the edge here. Okay, so now I have that piece. I have this piece. Let me put them over so you can see the sizes again. And I'm going to trim this one down to 3/4 inches. And I want it to be 4 inches wide. All right, so I have those 3 pieces that I need now. Let's go ahead. Oops, just dropped my papers. Let's go ahead and glue our 3 13/16 by 5 1/16 inch piece to our matte piece. Now I know I'm going to be cutting a channel out of this, so I'm going to add a little extra adhesive down here to try to hold that together when we have our piece cut. Okay, so I'm going to put this right in the middle, just like that. Did you notice my penguin shirt? I always try to match my projects, and that one was just fun. All right, so now we need a piece of cardstock, and we're using basic white that is 3 by 3 13/16. And I'm also going to have a piece that is 2 1/16 by 4. And we're going to be doing a little bit of trimming on that with a die cut. And we're using the kind of snowbank die cut from the gingerbread house dies. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to lay it across here like this. And I'm going to take it over to my Stampin' Emboss machine, the Cut and Emboss, and I'm just going to trim that little design out of there. I kind of want it to go more like that. I have my little snowbank. And then on this other piece, I want to cut the snowbank on that as well. So I'm just going to be cutting a little bit. So I'm just going to take it like this so I get a little bit of that snowbank look. So that looks like that. Okay, I have a few little pieces of fuzz on here. Let me get that off. All right, so now I can take this one and I'm going to glue this down. And you can see I'm putting a lot of adhesive on this because I am going to have that channel in there. I just want to make sure it's glued down well. And we're going to glue that right here at the bottom to give ourselves that little snowbank area. Okay, now you need to have something that will cut a channel. You can do this with an X-Acto knife if you want to, or just go through your dies. Hopefully you have one that has a little bit of space to it. This one is actually from an old die cut set that I had called Sliding Star. It was a framelit, so that tells you it is an older one, but it's perfect for what I want to use, so I went ahead and pulled this out. You can use, if you have the old word window punch, if you have the, what was that one called? Hold on. We have the classic label punch. If you have something like that, it can cut a channel for you. Just look at what you have, and if you don't have die cuts, you don't have a punch, go ahead and use an X-Acto knife. But you can see that this is longer than I want it to be. I don't want it hanging off the side. So I want to show you how I cut this so it didn't cut all the way to the end. So I have my Big Shot here. Hopefully you can see that well enough. Let me move this piece out of the way and move this up a tad so you can see. So what I'm going to do is I have my sandwich here, so I have my cutting plate at the bottom. I'm going to put this on, but I'm going to have this extend beyond the end of the plate. Okay, so this is extending probably about 3/4 of an inch over the acrylic plate, and I can put this in how I want it, and I'm going to take a piece of temporary tape. You can use Post-it note tape, you can use washi tape. If you use washi tape, kind of run it over a surface a couple of times to pull off some of the sticky, and then you can use that as well. Okay, so you hopefully can see that I have that extending beyond my plate. Now I want to align this the way I want it. It's a little bit low on that side. I'm going to bring that up slightly. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is have this extending beyond. Okay, so I've made sure that the part that I don't want cut is extending beyond. I put my plate over the top. There we go. And now I can run it through. And because we're going through several layers, I'm going to run it through a couple of times. Give it a chance to cut. Okay, so now I can bring this up. And I'm going to realign that. And you can actually feel your die lock into place, so that cutting line will match here. There we go. And now I can go ahead and cut, but I don't want to go with my roller. I don't want to go above this spot here, okay? So I'm going to be very careful not to extend past that. I'm going to roll it back and forth a few times. And now I should be able to pop this out. Okay, so mine didn't cut cleanly all the way here. I'm not going to force it. I don't want to rip it. So I'm going to grab an X-Acto knife and I'm just going to cut along my little die cut here, and that will pop right out now. Okay, so now I have my channel for my mechanism to have my penguin slide. Okay, and I am going to clean this up a little bit. I have a little bit of tape showing. You just want to make sure your channel is nice and smooth. I'm just going to trim that down just a little bit. You don't want your sliding mechanism to get caught. All right, so we have that. Okay, you know what? I need 2 pennies and I forgot to grab those. So give me just a second and hopefully you can catch up. I'm sorry, I thought I had everything I needed and I forgot to grab 2 pennies. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on our slider mechanism. And we're going to need those 2 pennies. And we need some stamping dimensionals. But the first thing I like to do, and I'm going to use these mini glue dots rather than my roll, just so you can see where I'm placing them. And I'm just going to put pennies, or glue dots, in the center of these pennies. And I'm putting a lot because I want this to be nice and secure. I really only need 3. 4 was pushing it a little bit. So I'm just going to put these 3 right in the middle here. Take this off. This is just to give my piece a little extra security of adhesive. Okay, now we're going to put stamping dimensionals on top of those mini dots. Actually, we'll do that. Okay, now I'm going to double my dimensional layer. Now, if you want to, you could put these layers together and then trim them more into a circular shape. That will make this slide smoother, but I think we're going to be okay with this. Let me make sure that's going to slide in my channel. It is, so we're good. Okay, I'm going to take this cover piece off and add more glue dots to the top here. I can actually take this one and flip it over. We're just going to align those pennies, smush that down, and then this is going to slide into my channel. So now my penny should roll back and forth. Okay, so it's rolling. It's not rolling quite as smooth as I would like it to. So what I'm going to do, rather than taking the whole thing apart, is I'm just going to take my bone folder and see if I can kind of squish this dimensional into more of a circular shape. Okay, I think I squished that down. Let's see if that will slide a little bit easier. The other thing I can do is if it's not sliding as smooth as I'd like to, I could take my embossing buddy and roll it across my paper to just make that a little more slick. But I think we're going to go with that. I think it's going to be fine. So now I want to use my foam adhesive strips because I want to make sure that I have a lot of support for this channel here. So I find the easiest thing to do is use the foam adhesive strips. If you don't have adhesive strips, you can certainly use stamping dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip it over, and I want to add these strips kind of a lot. Now, if you find that you cut your channel a little bit too long, don't worry about it. You could always just put another little piece of paper on top over here to kind of have that butt up against. So you're fine with that. I want to put these close to my channel, but I do not want to block my penny at all. So I'm just going to add this here and make sure that my penny can slide here. It's good here, it's good there. Yay. All right, so now I'm just gonna fill up the back with these adhesive strips. I probably use way too many adhesive strips, but you know what? I would rather it be nice and secure than weak. So I'm happy to put more strips on here than I probably need. Okay, I think we're good. I think that has a lot of support now. Let's put one down here. Okay. Push all these down. And let's pull those all off. All right, we can now glue this to this inside panel here. Oh, but you know what? I wanted to stamp some trees on here and I forgot. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put this on because I took all my little strips off here. And I'm going to hope that I have enough support over here to get a nice stamped image. But I normally would have suggested that you stamp this before you glue it to the, or put the strips on. But we're moving along. So I'm going to get my little tree stamp and Evening Evergreen ink. And I'm going to stamp one tree right up here. Oh, didn't stamp in the middle, but we'll fix that. Okay, and I'm going to stamp another tree right here. Okay, and I'm going to try to stamp over this one. See if I can get that middle to stamp. I can't, so I'm going to use our Evening Evergreen Stampin' Write marker that has the same ink as the ink pad. So I can just take this and I can just color in my tree so no one knows that it didn't stamp perfectly. Yay! Okay, I'm going to clean my stamp real quick. So now we have our little penny that slides up and down for our little mechanism here. All right, let's take a piece that is of the Evening Evergreen that is 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to glue that piece of snowflake paper that we cut earlier right to the center. Okay, let's glue that to the center of our little cut strip here. Just like that. And then we have our little die cut piece, our white, and I want my little snowbank to kind of match. So what I'm going to do is I could flip it over this way if I want it to go the opposite direction, this way if I just want that mountain to go like that. And I'm going to let it go like this. So to get my sizing, I'm just going to take a pencil and make a little mark where I want to cut the bottom here. I'm going to trim that off. And now I can just glue my little snowbank to the front of my card. Just like that. Okay, I want to stamp this, so I'm bringing out the Ho 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 from our latest kit. It's a paper pumpkin kit called From the North Pole. If you don't have the paper pumpkin kit, don't worry about it. Just find a sentiment that you would like to fit into this area right here. And for this, I'm going to use Cherry Cobbler because it's a little bit darker, and this is a very thin line on this stamp, so I want it to show up the best it can. And I'm just going to stamp the Ho 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 right down here. And I actually thought it could be funny to do oh, 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 because he's sliding down the hill. So I could have switched this around. All right, so we have that. Let's do our inside piece now. We have a piece of basic white cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4, and we have our little strip, our little 3/4 inch strip that we cut earlier. We're going to go ahead and put this right down here, like this. And I want to stamp some presents that are flying. So I'm going to get my little present stamp. And for this, I'm going to use Mango Melody. I'm going to clean my stamp and then stamp another one that is in the soft succulent. And then I want one that is real red. Okay, and I'm just going to use this little stamping spot for my red because it's nice and juicy and gives me a great stamped image. And I'm going to stamp that up here. Like that. Okay, now I want to stamp a penguin on here, but I want my penguins to be really dark. And I find that the best way to get them the shade that I want is by using my Stamp-A-Majig, or I'm sorry, my Stamparatus. Used to be called Stamp-A-Majig. So I'm going to put this card in, and I'm going to lay my little penguin exactly where I want it to be, and I want it to be flying into those presents, knocking them over. I'm just going to go ahead and pick that up. Put my magnets on here to hold this down so this paper doesn't move, because I'm going to be inking it several times. Right, and I'm going to turn it this way so you can actually see what I'm doing. And when I use my Stamparatus, I like to put my little case underneath to give me some support when I'm inking this up. And I'm going to stamp him right here. Okay, he's not going to stamp because I have this guy in the way. So what I'm going to do, I told you this is live. All right, I'm going to flip this around like this. I'm going to lay my penguin back so it matches. I can get it right in the same spot again. Come on. There we go. I think that's good. Now my phone's ringing. Okay, so now we're going to put that down. Hope that that matched. It's a little off, but I'll be able to fix that. I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it one more time because I want it nice and dark. to clean this off so I don't get ink everywhere. Pull this out. Make sure that my magnets don't get close to each other at all, or they will break. Okay, let's bring this over. So you can see I kind of have a little bit of a mess up here and a little bit of area there that's not quite filled in. So I'm just going to take my black marker and I'm going to color that in. I'm going to kind of fix this little eye here. I'm just going to bring this around to clean that up. There we go. Looks great. That's what I love about stamping, is there seems to always be a way to fix it. Okay, so I want to add a couple of trees, and I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen for these. And I want one like it's going flying. And then I'll have one over here just straight up and down. Okay, I want to add some movement lines. So I'm just going to take my black marker again, my Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to add some little tick marks showing movement on these little gifts here. And movement on our little penguin. And I just like to add little dots to kind of finish those off at the ends here. Okay, so now I have some movement of those pieces. And we have a little bit more decorating to do on this, but we'll do that in just a minute. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add this to the inside of our card. Just like that. Okay, so we actually have our bases here. Let's go ahead and create our pieces that we're going to need, and I'm going to stamp everything for both cards because I'm going to have everything ready to go, so why not? All right, so I'm going to bring back my Stamparatus. I'm going to flip this back around. And this time I'm going to have my plate coming from the top to the bottom. I can actually do it this way so you can see. All right, so we're going to do that. We want to make sure everything's stuck inside here well. I've already done some of these, so you didn't have to see me do them all. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. And I need my penguin that's sliding, so we're going to add that here, just like that. Okay, so that's going to, oh, you know what, I'm not going to do that yet because I am going to need 2 more of these penguins, and I wanted to show you how I can get that with the Stamparatus. Okay, so we're going to do this, and let's just ink this up. And once again, I want these to be nice and dark, so I'm going to stamp this several times. There we go. So now I want to stamp him again. And this time I can add my little sliding penguin. we can stamp both of these at the same time. And stamp it several times until you get the color that you desire. I love the Stamparatus so you can get a perfect image all the time. It's great for when you're stamping a sentiment and you've already done your card and you want to make sure that your sentiment is stamped perfectly. You don't want to mess up the card at the end. This is a perfect tool for that, for getting that alignment. Okay, I'm going to get this cleaned up so I don't get ink everywhere. And now I have all my penguins that I'm going to need for my 2 cards. And we have some other pieces that we need to stamp. So let's go ahead and do those as well. So you are going to need balloons. And I like to stamp those first because I want to make sure they're going to fit on my card here. So I'm going to start with the Mango Melody. I can put that one right down here. And then I need a second balloon that is polished pink. We can slide that one right in there. And then we need antlers. And I'm going to use cinnamon cider. I know that this is a retired color, but you could use any of the brown inks like soft suede or crumb cake for this as well. But I really liked the cinnamon cider for those. And then we need some scarves. We're going to start with our Granny Apple Green. Then we need 2 of the Evening Evergreen scarves. And 1 real red. We need a real red hat. And we want to decorate our little penguins as well. Okay, so we're going to take this, and the first thing we're going to do is stamp some beaks. And we need 3 with the beak. We have one that has stamped feet. I think that might be stamped on the inside though. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, that's stamped on the inside, so we're not going to do that. All right, we do need a red bow tie. And that is on one that has the beak stamped. We'll just do this one up here. We have one with a red nose. So we're going to stamp that right on this guy. Okay, now we need to do some cheeks. So I'm going to use that same circle that I just used for the nose. And I'm going to use Petal Pink ink. And we're just going to stamp some cheeks because these guys are cold and we want to make sure they have nice rosy cheeks. Okay, so we have rosy cheeks on all of them. And I believe that is all we need except for our sentiments on our balloons. So we're going to bring this over and I'm going to use the Season's Greetings. And I'm going to stamp that right into our mango balloon. And then for our pink balloon, we are going to use the stamp that says be cool, be chill, be merry, but I only want to stamp the be cool. So the side of our pad is raised, so it works really well to be able to just ink up a portion of the stamp that you want to use. So luckily this is a see-through stamp. I'm going to make sure there's none on that little dot there. And now I can stamp be cool on my pink balloon. All right. Now we get to cut all of these out. Woo! Lots and lots of trimming here, but just relax, grab a nice cup of coffee or your favorite drink and just sit and trim these out. But through the magic of the genie lamp, we already have our pieces cut and ready to go. So you're going to see that I have some punched out pieces. These are little feet. I used the punch that came with the penguin stamp when it was first introduced several months ago in a different catalog. The punch is no longer available, but hopefully you already have this in your collection. If not, you can stamp the feet. There are stamps that are this shape. You can go ahead and stamp those and cut them out. Now when you cut out your antlers, my friend Patty Bennett, oh look at my black all over my fingers. Patty Bennett showed us how we could take and just leave a little bit back here for extra room to do your gluing behind your penguin heads. So you can do that with the antlers, you can do it with the hat, anything that you want, just a little extra support there. So let me show you where I got these punched pieces. So the feet were from the penguin punch, and the beak for the sliding penguin is right here on the bird punch, the bird builder. And then to make the beak, I wanted the top of the beak to be a little rounded, so I just did a scallop border. And now I'm going to use the large fish tail here, and I'm going to align it in that scallop area to get a nice shape at the top of my beak. So I just have my beak like that now. Okay, so I just used the edge of the fishtail. There's lots of flower punches, lots of other punches that you could use to get that. Or, once again, you can just cut it very easily. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to start putting my pieces on here. So this is our card that we created just a few minutes ago. And we're going to get our little sliding penguin and bring over our little silicone craft sheet here, because we need a foot and we need one of those side beaks and some multi-purpose adhesive. So I'm just going to put a little dab of the adhesive on his face here and a little dab back here for his foot. And I'm going to use tweezers to help me place these. And I just want his beak on there. There we go. And this little foot can go in this direction. There we go. All right, and then we have a scarf. And you saw that I punched out stamped out two of the evening evergreen. And the reason being is you can put his scarf on like this, just the way it is, but I wanted the scarf to have a little bit of movement to it. So I'm going to trim off this little one back here. And then I'm going to cut out this top piece right here. All right, so I have those pieces now. All right, so I want to take this one and I'm going to put a little dab of adhesive right here and put this on. I don't want any adhesive going beyond this scarf. So I just want that going like that, and now I can glue this one over the top. So now it looks like his scarf is flying in the wind there. And we are now going to add him to our penny up here. And for that, we're going to use the mini glue dots. And I'm just going to put a bunch of them all over this penny. I want this guy staying on here. Okay, so we have lots of glue dots on there. There we go. I'm going to push this penny up as far as it will go. And now I can glue my penguin on top. And I don't want to go beyond our card here. So I'm just going to make sure that he is right on there. And look, now he slides up and down. down the mountain. Okay, so we can put him up there. Let's glue together our little guy that goes on the front of our card. And we have this, and we have his little hat. Now I didn't put that extra piece there because I'm going to be able to glue the hat all the way down to the card. So we're just going to go ahead and put his hat on. And then we have 2 feet, and I'm going to use mini glue dots for those. Make them nice and strong on here. One over here. And one over here. And we have our little red scarf as well. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and glue our penguin. Above our ho ho ho. Just like that. And then we need to add a beak and a foot to our inside piece here. So we're just going to add that there. Oh, sticking to my finger. There we go. There's his beak and his little foot. Let's get another mini glue dot. And this time his foot's going to go up this way because he is flying. Whee! Okay, now if you want to, you can add another scarf here. I'm going to pretend he lost his scarf on the mountain. So there we have our card. Here is the closed. Here is the penguin sliding down the hill. And here is the inside of our card. There you go. But you know what? We need an envelope. We cannot leave our envelope without something fun on it. So let's go ahead and stamp our envelope. So I'm going to bring my Stamparatus back over. I'm going to grab some envelopes. And I want my penguin to be right down here in this corner. I'm just going to lift that up and put it where I want it to go. Make sure my envelope is going in the right direction here. Get rid of that. Pick up that. And let's just stamp some envelopes. You just saw that I have 3 cards, so I'm not going to have you watch me do all 3, but the Stamparatus is a printing press, and you can see just how quick and easy it is to just stamp a bunch of envelopes at one time. So I'm just going to do a couple here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do all 6, because then I'll be ready to go to stick these in the mail. This is so quick and easy that you can go ahead and fast forward if you want to. But while I have everything all ready to go, I'm going to go ahead. Another one here. And I have one more. There we go. And we have a penguin. And I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side for a minute, because our other pieces we can just go ahead and stamp. Now you could do these on the Stamparatus as well, but I think I can just stamp these really quickly. I have a hat. Get my little pad. I like to use the Stampin' Pierce mat whenever I'm using the photopolymer stamps. I just find I get a better image with a little bit of sponge underneath there. There we go. One more. Okay, I think we need a beak and some feet now. So I'm going to bring out my Mango Melody. And I have my little feet. And I have the beak. Do our feet. And you can see how quick and easy this goes when you do mass production here. I should be able to get these envelopes done in less than 3 minutes. So, okay, let's do our cheeks with the petal pink. Okay, now I could stop there, but I want to use this little snowbank stamp here, so let me pull that off. And I'm going to align this the way I want it to be. Let's try that. There we go. Let me get my block. Once again, I would probably do this on the Stamparatus, but for saving some time here, that's not going to fit on there. Hold on. We need to get our big block here and pull that. Okay, and I'm just going to use the soft succulent because that's the color on our card. So I can just take this now and kind of put that there to add a little bit more fun. Okay, I've got ink where I don't want it to be on this block, so I have to be careful not to rock my block. Okay, so I'm going to just take my chamois and wipe that away so I don't mess this up. Okay, thanks for bearing with me as I got all my envelopes done and ready to go. So I can put these in the mail right away. Okay, so now we have 6 fun envelopes to go with our cards. Let's do our second card now. So we're going to pull over that big piece that we cut away from that original card. And you can see we already have our score line here. I'm going to take that and fold it down. And I have a piece of our designer series paper that is 1.5 by 5.5. But you know what? I'm not going to, use this side. I'm going to use the alternate side. I love that we have two-sided paper and we can play with the different designs. I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to glue that right into here. Okay, I have a piece of ribbon here. I'm using our metallic woven ribbon, and this is the Sweet Sorbet. And I'm just going to take this and wrap it around. I want to make sure it's flat on the inside. And we're just going to tie a bow in the front. Let me try that again here. Bows are so much easier to tie when people aren't watching you. Oh my goodness. I told you this was live. There we go. Okay, so you can see this is kind of floppy. It's not tight enough. So I want to show you what you can do rather than retying it. You can take this now, and I'm going to open this up because this is going to be covered. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put a little piece of Scotch tape. I'm going to cut my ribbon. I'm going to pull that tautly and just tape it again. Okay, so now I have a nice strong ribbon on here. It looks like it twisted. So let me fix that. You want your ribbon to be flat. There we go. Let me straighten that out. And pull this back down. Okay, that's all going to be covered. No one's going to know that you kind of played with that. All right, let's get our penguins now. And we're going to decorate those. So let me get my silicone craft sheet again. And we have this guy, and then the one with the red nose. We need another one with a bow tie. And we need another one. Where'd it go? Oh, we'll just grab him out of here. And there we go. Okay. All right. So let's decorate these guys. I'm going to put a hat. Oh, we needed 2 of the red hats. Let's see if I have another one here already cut. I don't think I do, so I'm just going to stamp one real quick and cut it. Because I want to put a red hat on this guy. So let's get that. Might be stuck in my genie lamp still. But I can show you just how quick and easy it is to cut this out. So we're just going to quickly trim this. Okay, so we can add this hat now. And I'm just going to go ahead, put a little bit of adhesive down on the brim here. This is all going to be glued to a piece of paper, so we don't have to worry about getting it perfect. Okay, we have our antlers, and like I said, I just left an extra little bit to be able to glue that to the back of his head. So we have our little scarf here. There we go. And we already have stamped the bow tie on this guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a mini glue dot on the corner, left bottom corner of each one of these penguins. Okay, this is just going to help us place these. So we're going to start with this little guy with the tie. We're going to just put him right down here. And I'm not going to push too hard because I might need to move these a little bit to just get them all to fit on properly. Okay, so that little move that one down just a tad. That little mini glue dot is just helping these stay in place while I align them. Just like that. And now I'm going to just take a piece of Scotch tape and I'm going to glue all those on a little more securely with the Scotch tape. But I'm also going to be putting adhesive on these, so let's do that. Because I have a piece of the Designer Series paper that is 4 3/16 by 5 1/2. And this could be 4 1/4, but if you do, you're going to have to trim off a little bit on this side because when you tuck it into here, it's going to expand beyond the edge. So if you just cut it at the 4 3/16, you won't have to worry about that. So now we're just going to put multi-purpose adhesive on our penguins. And I'm going to put our Seal Plus down the sides here. Just make that nice and secure. Now I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to align it to the right edge of my card base, and I'm just going to close this up. Now all those little pieces in the back with all the Scotch tape and the correction of the bow. Everything is all covered and no one knows. They just see this beautiful piece on the inside. Okay, so now we want to take a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to do some stamping on this. So let's bring our Stamparatus back. And I'm going to put this in the bottom corner. And I want my penguin to be here. Let's bring this back. Just stamp our little penguin a few times to get that nice dark color. Actually, that one stamped pretty well, so I think I can get away with 2 on this guy. That looks great. And let's decorate him. So for this, I'm going to stamp 1 polished pink balloon. And you know what? I should not have stamped Be Cool on that because that's going to be stamped there. So I'm just going to flip this balloon over. And I'm going to stamp this right in the center there. Perfect. Let's stamp our red hat. We need a beak, we need our cheeks, we need a bow tie. And our feet here. So let's go with the Mango Melody. Stamp our feet. We need our little hat. We're going to use the garden green for the bow tie. Our real red hat. Oops. Let's bring this. Oh, not good. And back up that, and then we want to add the Be Cool to our balloon. And we have to do our cheeks as well. So let's do our pink cheeks. get our Be Cool. Once again, I'm just going to load up just the Be Cool portion. I'm going to use a marker to draw a string. Okay, and then we have that little 3/4 inch by 5.5 inch strip, and we're going to take that and glue that to the left edge of this card here. Okay, and it's a little bit long, so we're going to go ahead and trim that off. And I have a little bit of white showing here that I don't want, so I'm going to show you how to hide that. Okay, so can you see that there's this little bit of white here? I'm just going to take my marker and I'm going to color that in. A piece of paper here. Okay, that's going to take that white away. Just going to bring it all the way down. There we go. And now that's hidden. And we're going to put that right in the center here. And have a little bit more white showing. Clean that up. No one will ever notice that now. Let's add our balloons to the front here. So we have our polished pink balloon. And I want it to look like it's coming from this guy right here. So I'm just going to put that right there. And then we have our mango balloon, but I want to pop this one up on dimensionals. Okay, I'm going to add some string lines. It's all in the little details here. And I'm actually going to draw a line. You can barely see it, but if you're looking, it's there. So the balloons aren't just floating up in air. They are anchored to our little penguin. So there you go. And you know what? I realized when we were doing this little guy, he has a little bow tie. Let's add the bow tie to all of our little penguins on our envelopes. Bow tie, where'd you go? Here you are. So we're just going to add a little bow tie to finish this guy off. There we go. And we are done. So here is an envelope. Here is the outside of your card, and here is the inside. So cute. Isn't that adorable? I love it. I hope you do too. And if you do, please leave me a comment. I'd love to see what you think, if you have any suggestions. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I am not perfect in any way. This is a live video, so you get the corrections as you see them, but I actually find that as an opportunity to teach you even more, because no one is perfect and little mistakes happen along the way. I call those creative opportunities, and I just showed you how to fix actually several little blips in the cards. So there is card number 2. Let me bring that down here. And just to remind you, we have card number 1. We'll show you the different steps here. And there is our front. And there's card number 1. And look, we have an envelope for that as well. We are ready to go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you will check back. I try to record every Tuesday. The previous night's Motivation Monday, I go live on Facebook every Monday night at 7 Pacific time, and you can find me on Facebook at Stamp with Jeannie. So if you would like to join us live and be part of the fun on Monday night, plus have a chance for winning a door prize, please join me every Monday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks again. Bye, everybody.